the great lady sitting right across from us, Brenda Lee. Thank you so much for meeting us at the Hall of Fame.
Gosh, it's good to see you too.
Well, and we ought to explain why we look like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell our viewers right now. No, it's not Michael Jackson.
No. Oh, okay.
And as I was putting these on, it did something weird, and it looked like I was doing something bad towards you. But,
Put that down.
But no, I did not, because I love you.
No, actually, you have several items here that are going to be a part of an exhibit.
I do.
And in order, since they are now in possession of the Country Music Hall of Fame in the museum, we have to wear these in order to touch them. Is that the
Absolutely,
is that the rule?
You're not allowed to touch them.
Even you.
With your bare hand, it's kind of like the Queen.
You can't touch your own stuff over here.
No,
right?
when I met the Queen, you know, I couldn't touch her. I had to have gloves. So it's sort of on that same type thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie, you go first.
Okay.
Show what she is donating to the Hall of Fame.
Okay, now this is cool. Tell us how you came into possession of these.
Well, Elton John is, I've always been a fan for 40 years now, and he's a dear friend of mine, and those are his.
Yeah.
I went to see him the other night when he was in Nashville, and those are his, and he sent them to me, and the Hall thought that was pretty cool.
These are priceless. You don't. How do you put a price on these things? You don't, do you?
No, I guess not.
Nah,
I don't.
can't.
I have to know, have you ever worn them? Ever?
No, I'm afraid to even touch them.
Oh, yeah, well, let me do it. Right. Put me under the spotlight.
No, I'm afraid to touch this.
I'll put these back.
Earlier this year, Brenda Lee received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys. Is there a way to hold this that is better than others?
Heavy, isn't it?
That's the way. It's pointing the right way, right there.
Very heavy. You must be just on cloud nine. Not many people receive this.
Well, you know, I had always wanted a Grammy, and I'm not an award wanter. You know, I was just like, I would love to have the Grammy. And I was nominated many, many times, but never won. So to get the Lifetime Achievement Award for your body of work instead of, I mean, a Grammy's important no matter when you get it, but for me to get it for my lifetime of work, since I've been doing this since I was a baby almost, this is very special.
May I bestow another award upon you? I have 3 of your songs on my iPod. And and have ever since.
Thank
you want to guess what they are?
Let's see. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree?
Nope.
No, I'm Sorry.
I'm Sorry is one of them.
Sweet Nothings?
That's the second one. And the third is my favorite of all time.
All Alone Am I?
No.
I Want to Be Wanted?
That's it.
Okay.
Good guessing, girl. Good guessing.
Pretty good.
No, I have 3 of them on there. Those are my 3 favorites of yours.
Thank you.
And I listened to them when we were flying back from California, the first part of the year. I had them on my iPod.
I love that. Thank you.
Well, and what we love is that you don't stop. You keep on going with this magnificent talent of yours. You've been nominated for a Dove Award for your first gospel project ever.
That was my first gospel album, my duets album, which I was so proud of, and had people on it like Vince Gill and Dolly and George and Brooks and Dunn and Charlie Daniels, Alison Krauss, Emmylou Harris. A lot of Hall of Famers
Drop a name or two.
are on that album. So it was just great. To get a Dove nomination right out of the door was startling to me, to say the least.
It fits right into what you do while all the fans are in town. Sunday Morning Country.
Absolutely. Every year.
That's a big gathering of folks there.
That is a big gathering, and you know, that has been a real joy to me to be able to host that for the last several years, and I'm looking forward to it. It's the 14th of June at 2:30 in the afternoon at the Grand Ole Opry House, and boy, do we have a stellar lineup, and I think Lori Ann's probably trying to look at that.
And I just dropped it at her feet. Okay, somebody
that's okay.
call in.
Gene Shepard, Diane Sherrill, Stu Phillips, Charlie McCoy, who was just inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, George Hamilton IV, the Whites, Margot and Holly.
Yes.
See, you're testing me. You're testing me.
No, but you're doing well.
Well, see, the thing is, because this is on Sunday, they're adding people all the time. It's a huge lineup.
It's a huge, huge lineup. The show is wonderful. It's very uplifting, and we just, you know, it's funny. We have a lot of funny folks on it that give their testimonies too, but they're very funny, and it's a good show. So come on out and see us.
It's a nice, warm feeling, and that's at the Opry House, right?
That is at the Opry House.
We have to take a break. I'm not going to take the gloves off because, as a matter of fact,
are they comfy, cozy?
They're comfy, but you're in the Hall of Fame, and I want to hug you, and I think I got to put the gloves on to do that, right?
Okay.
The only lady to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You are special to Nashville. I'm glad you're here on the show. A short break. Back with more Brenda Lee on Crooked Chase after this.
Crook and Chase back at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum with the great Brenda Lee. I mean, during the break, just the stories that you were telling
Well,
us.
I've got to set you up. We have these gloves on here.
Yeah.
And it reminded you of a story when you were visiting the Queen, and you were still a teenager at this
I
point.
was about 19, and I told you, you have to wear gloves to shake the Queen's hand.
I didn't know that.
Of course, I didn't know that. Coming from Tennessee, I didn't know. I was a little Southern girl.
Right.
What did I know? So we get over there, it comes time to meet her. And they said, well, you can't meet her. You don't have any gloves. And I almost, just started crying. And some lady on the show said, that's okay, I have some gloves. And they were opera length. Of course, for you, they would have done just fine. But they went all the way up here on me. But don't you think I wore them? Yes, I did.
you
And I
really?
got to meet the Queen.
Did the
Yes.
Queen say anything about, hey, nice gloves?
No, she kind of looked a little strange at me, but she was very sweet and very nice.
Well, how good.
Well,
Yes.
and you have impacted the careers and the musical tastes of such a broad range of people. Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones is a
Well,
huge fan.
Charlie was talking about his iPod,
Yeah.
and Keith Richards, before he goes on stage every night, among other songs, he plays Sweet Nothings. And he sent me an autographed picture, and it had Sweet Nothings written on this arm, One Love written across his forehead, Brenda written across here, and something written across here. And like Charlie and I said, we hate to think what else is written on the rest of his body. But I was so glad to get that, because I am such a fan. That's my problem. I am a big fan of all the other entertainers, so I collect memorabilia.
Well,
I don't
and
blame
did
you.
Keith Richards ever tell you specifically what he loves about your voice and your music?
No, not Keith, because I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him. But I would love, I've always been a Rolling Stones fan. I think they're the greatest rock band ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I would love to meet them.
I believe in all of music history, you have probably the strongest voice of any youngster that came along. I think back to that song you mentioned, Sweet Nothings, and you were a kid when you sang that song.
I was 13.
You were 13, but such power in those vocals.
Well, thank you.
Was it a natural thing, or is it something you developed, Brenda?
No, it was always
natural?
there from the time I was a little girl. When I first opened my mouth and somebody figured out that I could sing, I was loud.
What a special gift, though.
Yes,
My
it
goodness.
Well,
is.
this is why she is a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. And in August, a big exhibit is going on
Yes.
display. That's why Charlie and I are wearing the gloves, because
Yeah.
we are handling some of the artifacts. This is the dress that you wore in a movie, the hat, the outfit, the everything.
It is. That was in Smokey the Bandit, and you got to know that I must have loved Burt Reynolds to put that hat over this do. So can you imagine me
Yeah.
messing up this do for that hat? But I did it. But that's the dress that I did my scene with the great Jackie Gleason.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a ball in that movie. I was on the screen probably a total of maybe a minute, but it was a lot of fun.
It
Took
was
us-
with Sheriff Buford T. Justice.
That's
I
right.
recall.
That's right. And I just love Jackie, and he's a great guy. I love Bert too.
You know, I hope you don't mind us reminiscing with you, because we find these stories just fascinating. And I sit here and I recall the picture of you standing next to Elvis Presley. Was it
Yeah.
backstage at the Grand Ole Opry?
That's right.
Was that his only Opry appearance?
December the 13th, 1957, to
But
be
who's
exact.
remembering,
But
you know?
who's remembering? That's my picture with Elvis, and I'm looking at him adoringly.
Yeah.
And we became friends then, and we remained friends throughout his life.
Wow.
Did you ever want to marry him like the rest of us?
No,
You didn't?
no. I was a fan, but I never wanted to. I never had those aspirations.
Well, you married a great guy.
I did marry a great guy. My Ronnie is the best.
Your Ronnie, he has been your manager and just your love. How many years has it been?
46.
Wow.
46.
Just celebrated our 46. Yeah.
And would he say that it's more difficult to be your husband or your manager?
My manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And why?
Well, because managers get blamed for everything. The entertainers never get blamed for anything.
Wait a minute. Husbands get
It's-
married.
Yeah, and
blamed for it, too.
husbands have a double load because they're the husband.
Yeah.
So that's the old story in the industry.
I got you. But you maintain working all the time. I know you're doing a lot of things here, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
with the CMA Music Fest, but you continue to do road work as well?
I do about 20 shows a year. Most of that occurs between about the third week in November through December, when I take the Christmas show out. Otherwise, I'm at home with the grandkids and Ronnie and the kids, and I do a lot of things here in town. I'm on several boards, and I do a lot of good stuff here in town that I love.
And are you still a gardener? You have the big garden?
I am. We still have the big garden.
She's the greatest
Yes.
cook. You've been on my cooking show. You're so
Yeah.
excellent.
I know,
Thank you.
but nothing compares when you go out on the road and sing those wonderful songs that bring back so many memories for everybody. And if you ever come to the Country Music Hall of Fame in the museum, look for the exhibit, and you'll see these wonderful items that we mentioned here, along with other things that really just point out what a remarkable career you've had. So.
Well, thank you. And I'm so excited. I'm so indebted to the hall for many, many reasons, but this exhibit is so exciting for me, and they've been so gracious to me, and I can't wait for it to open. I'll
There
be
you
the
go.
first one through the doors.
Don't blame
No,
me,
you
dear.
won't, because we will.
Okay.
Push you out of the way. Well, listen, we are going to play right now a beautiful medley of your hits that just laid the foundation for this awesome career that is still going so strong.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Brenda Lee.
Thank
we love you.
I love y'all too.
My baby whispers in my ear. Ah, sweet nothing. He knows the thing I love to hear. Ah, sweet nothing. Well, I think they wouldn't let nobody else. Secret, baby, I keep on to myself. Sweet nothing. Ah, sweet nothing. Yeah, I said I'm talking about nothing. Ah, sweet nothing. Lord, I got to hear you say nothing. Ah, sweet nothing. I'm sorry, so sorry that I was such a fool. I didn't know love could be so cruel. Oh, 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 yes. You tell me mistakes are part of being young, but that don't right the wrong that's been done. I wish I could come back to you, dear. I know that you want me to. Oh, but too much water's running up that old bridge. There's too many rivers between me and you. And there's too many rivers to cross this. Too many dreams have been lost. There are too many long nights I've turned and loved songs. Too many rivers to cross. The sun comes up and brings the dawn as usual. When I awake, I find you gone as usual. But I can't find a way to let this crazy heart of mine forget. I pretend you're still beside me as usual. Oh, I can't find a way to let this crazy heart of mine forget. I pretend you're still beside me as usual. Well, goodbye, Joe. You gotta go. Be on my own. You gotta go before the beat goes down the bayou. My eve on the sweetest corn. Me on my own. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Every life cookies pie, the Billy will